9-month pregnant woman stood in front of the mirror. The rapid spread of freckles from pregnancy hormones had thrown her into a spiral of anxiety. Luckily, her thoughtful husband knew she couldn't eat spicy food right now, so he secretly went downstairs and ate a bowl of extra spicy noodles. Then he packed 2 bowls of mild noodles before heading back home. Even if his stomach was stuffed and uncomfortable, he still patiently sat down to keep his wife company for another bowl. After his wife finished eating, he helped her over to the couch and massaged her swollen calves. Then his wife mentioned she wanted an apple. He didn't mind at all and did it anyway. But when he walked out carrying the fruit plate, he found his wife had already fallen asleep. He knew how rare it was for a pregnant woman to get good sleep, so he lay down on the couch with his wife. But this guy, who seemed like such a perfect husband on the surface, was always meticulous about small things but messed up the big ones. One day, the wife's water suddenly broke. The moment the man got the news, he rushed to the hospital. But when he learned the baby still wouldn't arrive for a while, he started getting restless. Coincidentally, a call came in. His boss needed him to handle an urgent work issue. Hearing this, his wife was very understanding. She told him to go back and deal with it. But who would have thought her husband actually left, and his wife had no idea. After finishing his work, the husband didn't rush back to the hospital. Instead, he went back home. He cracked open a beer from the fridge and sat down to watch a soccer match, trying to blow off the stress of the day. Who could have guessed that after one night, his wife in the hospital was about to give birth? But the man was still passed out from drinking too much. It wasn't until a shrill ringtone went off that he was jolted awake. The woman was about to be wheeled into the delivery room. This is the most terrifying moment in any woman's life. And her husband wasn't there beside her. Inside the delivery room, the woman pushed with all her might. She endured the excruciating pain, giving it her all with each contraction, and finally birthed the baby. Only then did the husband arrive late. But the first thing he did wasn't go see his wife. He took the placenta instead. Turns out, on his way to the hospital, his mother had repeatedly instructed him to make sure he brought the placenta back. He was going to stew it to nourish his youngest son. When the wife was wheeled out, she found the waiting room empty. The nurses had no choice but to push her into the ward, muttering that the woman's husband was unreliable, disappearing right after his wife had just suffered so much. Soon, the wife was pushed back to her room. Even her friend had arrived, but there was still no sign of her husband. Turns out, after dropping off the placenta, the man returned to the delivery room door. It was only when a friend called him that he realized his wife had already come out. The husband was the last to arrive after his wife gave birth. But the first thing he said upon entering the ward was complaining about a weird smell. Hearing this, the wife's face instantly changed color. Turns out, after giving birth, women lose control of their bladder and bowels. At that moment, the husband hadn't even realized what was happening. It was only after his father-in-law reminded him that he walked back into the room. Who would have thought that the moment she saw him enter, the wife couldn't help but break down? But in the end, she could only ask her husband to help her clean up. Seeing the disgusted look on her husband's face during the process, the wife felt utterly ashamed. After her husband went out, he washed his hands with sanitizer for a long time. But he forgot that everyone else had the right to be disgusted except him. Soon, the mother-in-law and brother-in-law also came to the ward. Everyone gathered around the baby, fussing over it. The mother-in-law was grinning ear to ear holding the child. But no one noticed the weak woman reaching out for a drink of water. Only her own mother noticed her movement. She quickly brought the water to her daughter's lips. At this moment, only a real mother could understand her daughter's suffering. After the mother-in-law finished looking at the baby, she went home. The friend didn't want to impose and left as well. Only then did the woman finally get a chance to look at her daughter. Just one glance and the woman couldn't hold back her tears. She felt that all the suffering she endured was worth it. Just then, the husband walked in after washing his hands. She held her daughter for the first time. Watching this heartwarming scene, a happy smile appeared on the wife's face. Soon, the woman was discharged and returned home. She was greeted by piles of empty beer bottles her husband had finished. The embarrassed man quickly started cleaning up. Seeing this, the mother-in-law nagged dissatisfiedly that the husband needed to pay attention to hygiene and take better care of his wife's body. The man agreed wholeheartedly. The next day, the confinement nanny arrived. The first thing the nanny asked about was the woman's health. The second thing was asking about the baby. Hearing the woman say the baby had been crying nonstop, the nanny disinfected herself and quickly found the cause of the problem. Then she proceeded to clean the secretions from the baby's umbilical cord. Seeing the nanny's professional technique, the woman finally felt a sense of relief. The confinement nanny moved in. She not only took great care of the woman and baby, but even made sure the husband had a hot meal when he came home late. In the middle of the night, when the baby fussed, the nanny would quietly scoop him up and bring him into the room. Then she would shake the sleeping mother awake to breastfeed. The wife was a bit thirsty while nursing. She wanted her deep-sleeping husband to pour her a glass of water. But unfortunately, her husband slept like the dead. Just as the woman was about to get up to fetch water herself, the nanny had already brought the water over. The woman couldn't help but burst into tears. The husband she had shared a bed with for years was actually not as reliable as a stranger.